What if Israel Adesanya beats Dricus Du Plessis to become 3 times undisputed middleweight champion? In this video, I'll try to paint the most realistic picture, let's say. I try to elaborate a timeline on how a certain result of a fight might influence and shape a division, or the organization as a whole. So let's take a look at the division we have on our hands. Dricus Du Plessis, the new champion, just beat Sean Strickland last month to become the champion. And I think we all know who's next. Israel Adesanya. They've been chirping at each other. It's been a storyline for the past year, and I don't think it's gonna end before they fight. So let's assume Izzy is next. This is the whole basis of this video, and let's assume Izzy wins this, because if Strickland was popping up DDP like that, I think Izzy can snipe DDP and get the decision, or maybe catch a slick stoppage, kind of like the Izzy versus Costa one. That's actually a real possible scenario. I could see Izzy versus DDP playing out like Izzy versus Costa. DDP and Costa are kind of built the same, big blocky, stocky guys, bigger size guy, white frame, so I could kind of see it. So if Izzy wins this, that would make him the first and only 3 times undisputed middleweight champ of the UFC. But what happens next? Who are the potential contenders? Because don't forget, before losing to Pereira and Sean Strickland, Izzy basically cleared the division. You had to lap them dudes. And in that case, we would have 4 potential contenders. And they probably would be Strickland, Cannoniers, Khamzat, and Whitaker. But Izzy already beat Cannonier and Whitaker. He beat Whitaker twice. Realistically, I think Izzy gets the DDP fight over with, and then the rematch with Strickland is probably where the money is. If Strickland hasn't lost a fight in the meanwhile and he's still at the top of the division, why not? He was completely shut down in the first fight. Was it a fluke? Was it an off night? God knows, and that's what they could build the fight on. But Sean has since grown a massive audience. He's actually one of the biggest names in the sports right now. Like, just look at the numbers he's pulling on Twitter, on YouTube, the videos. He's always making headlines. And Izzy himself said that he knows he's towards the end of his career. Redeeming that loss against Strickland in a big pay-per-view, which means big paycheck, might be the most likely option for him if you look at it from a logical perspective. Because right now, his 2 other options would be Cannonier or Whitaker, if they both still are at the top of the division. We saw how their last fight went. Izzy's fight with Cannonier was probably one of the most boring one I've seen in the past years. And Whitaker already fought him twice, and it probably wouldn't be that appealing to the fans. But the Strickland rematch, that's a fight everybody would pay for. The build up to the first fight was hilarious, followed by the performance of Strickland against Izzy. Nah, Izzy gotta get that one back. He can't let this slide, so he needs that rematch. So we've established that Izzy gets the DDP fight, probably wins, and then get the Strickland fight. And let's assume again that he wins, because Sean Strickland, as talented as he is, he's not consistent at all in his career. So now we got Izzy's next 2 fights. Next, there would be 2 other options, but one depends on an entirely different timeline. It would either be the Khamzat Chimaev fight, if in the meanwhile he's beaten at least another high-ranked middleweight like Cannonier or Vettori, or the Alex Pereira double champ fight at light heavyweight, if he's still the champion. And this one is a toss coin, to be honest, because there's a problem with both. I don't trust Khamzat's ability to get in a fight with a ranked opponent in time to fit Izzy's schedule, because we know he's active. And even if he does get booked, after his last outing, I'm not even sure. I can't confidently say that he beats Cannonier or DDP or Vettori. And for Pereira, the problem is that he needs to still be champ at light heavyweight for it to make sense. And with Ankalaev creeping up on him, we can't know for sure. And even if he is, nothing guarantees that Izzy will accept that fight. He said himself he's petty as hell, and he's perfectly fine with running off with the win, like that little cousin that beats you for the first time in 50 games. But I think Dana has ways to make this enticing for him. And since it'll most likely be one, if not the last fight for both, that would be extremely symbolic. And Izzy, as we all know him, has that little main character syndrome, and he would never miss out on an opportunity to live out a movie scene in real life like this. So my timeline for Israel Adesanya is pretty simple. Izzy comes back, beats Dricus Du Plessis, then gets the rematch against Sean Strickland to get some traction back, add a defense to his belt, make his case for a double champ attempt on the premises of everything he's done in the division before, like he's been champ for years. Okay, he's had a couple setbacks, but he's come back and defended his belt again. And you know for sure Dana White is gonna push for it if it happens. And if Alex Pereira is champ after this, this is absolutely the fight to make. And if he's not, after Izzy beats Strickland, Khamzat Chimaev will be next. In the meanwhile, I hope he had beaten a contender and this fight will have some huge hype. Undeserved hype because Chimaev is overrated, but hype regardless. So Izzy is probably gonna like the pay-per-view points on the back end. That's my what if. Everything in this video is only theoretical. Dricus or Sean, I can't confidently pick Izzy in either of those matches, but I think he's also much longer and taller than everyone else, so he got that advantage to level out the field and maybe win his belt back. So you guys let me know what you think. What's next for Israel Adesanya? Is he still one of the biggest names in the sport? And what's a what if that I should do next? Thanks for watching.